Welcome to another episode of the Epic Family Road Trip, the Empty Nest Edition. It looks like they worked with a wooden structure building and then put blocks of sod on top. And the fireplace is right in the middle. Very similar to what we saw in Newfoundland, way up in Lansing Meadows. So I think this structure demonstrates what's underneath the sod house. So they first build it looks like half logs, walls and everything, and then they cover it over with the big chunks of sod. Good morning. We had a great sleep there on the Arctic Ocean, and we've had a lot of fun. Met some great people. We've got fish from the ocean here, whitefish, that we're going to take with us and make some meals. The dip in the ocean was just so much fun. So we've enjoyed our short visit to Tuk. One thing to keep in mind this time of year, there's some benefits. The colors coming up are amazing, and there's no mosquitoes, but it also is a very sleepy town this time of year. It's off season for any tourists coming up, so we woke up this morning and the whole place is quiet as can be. I haven't seen a soul yet, and it's around noon. So I think Sunday is a shutdown day, so very quiet and beautiful, but you're not going to get into the stores and restaurants, of which there's only about 2 or 3. So that's fine by us because we're heading back south. But we really enjoyed our time in Tuk, and wonderful people. So we went out to look at the pingos, which were really neat, and they're actually these formations where the permafrost pushes the ground up into these huge hills. And we talked to someone there, and they said it takes hundreds of years to form, and then they get so heavy that they actually push themselves back down, and that takes another couple hundred years. So really neat formations that are only in this area.
I should just probably hike just down this ridge, and then if I can get just close enough to identify it, but I'm like 99% sure.
I'll come with you. I'll move up ahead a little bit. So Carol's walking out into the tundra. She this whole way has been looking for an antler, as she always does. She's looking in this case for a caribou antler. She thinks she sees one, so she's hiking in there. I'm going to go with her in a minute. She's just going over the ridge to take a look with her binoculars and see if she can 100% identify it, but then I think it would be quite a hike in. So crazy girl, but she loves those antlers, and it's fun for her. It's like panning for gold for her. So I think Carol may have found an antler, believe it or not. That's my crazy Carol.
That was hard. Good thing I had a Swiss Army knife, because this was all under the marsh.
Wow.
And
What a
I broke
find.
off one piece digging it out. They're old, but
They are cool.
they're fine.
Good job.
Nothing like it. Whew, that was a big trek. And half the time you're sinking up to your knees
Yeah.
in the holes.
Well done.
I knew there was something there. Only the whites were sticking out, but they were only about 10 feet from each other.
Nicely done.
That was awesome.
Good job.
That was fun. We stopped here on the hill for a phone call from the kids, and we couldn't get them, so we were just waiting and waiting and waiting because of the internet, or the Wi-Fi isn't so good. And then I was just scanning out there, and I thought I saw something. I kept on losing it. I didn't realize how far that is in marsh or the tundra, because it drops down like a foot or 2 and you're sinking. But we got them. They're old, but I love them. They're something special about this whole trip. My hair's still wet from swimming in the ocean, and then I get to find some caribou antlers, and it was a set, just about 10 feet from each other, but luckily I had my, oh, I don't know where it is now. My hands are still shaking. My little Swiss Army knife to cut away the moss and the roots because it was buried in just a little tiny bit showing. I really thought it was just going to be like some of this flower that you see with the white tops, but there was just something about it that I was like, that is an old antler, but it's an antler. So that's pretty bucket list check right there. Super stoked.
Way to go, I'm proud of you.
That was big.
Oh, you did it.
I know, and here we were just in town looking if we could just buy one because I was desperate for one, and here, something even way more special, our very own.
You hiked out to get.
Yeah, like my fingernails are shot from digging that up. Yeah, they're probably from today.
Grizzly?
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe a young one.
Yeah. Nice set of claws on it. Yeah. Well, let's drive in and take a look at the camp spot, and we can always go 3 kilometers back to the river.
Okay.
All right, we decided to go back, just backtrack a little bit, a few clicks to the river. Not that there was anything wrong with that site. We'd camp there for sure, but the river looks so pretty, and we love the sound of the river at nights, and lots more room there for Lando to play. So we're heading back a little bit, and we'll get camp set up.
The soup has survived the trip, kind of. We're just going to do soup and grilled cheese sandwiches.
This can be delicious. Thanks, babe. Good morning. We are still above the Arctic Circle here on the Dempster highway. Had a great sleep. Found this little spot by the river last night, and it was awesome. Very quiet. So we're making a coffee, and we're gonna keep going south on the Dempster. Behind us. Well, today there's no dust at all because we've had a gentle rain and it's taken care of it. It's 4 degrees Celsius right now, so it's been an amazing trip up here. We've had some incredible weather. This is really, well, we've had a few patches of rain here and there, but it's been wonderful. So Dempster Highway, Tuktoyaktuk, what a great experience. Back at the Mackenzie, it looks windy out there and choppy, but should be good. We'll be across, and then we have one more crossing, and then we'll be probably back to the start of the Arctic Circle. It's windy, all right. I don't know if they're delaying because of the wind or just waiting till things calm down a bit or what, but we'll see how it goes. We're still waiting here at the ferry. It is too windy to go. I just talked to the gentleman in front of me, and he said they're waiting for the wind to die down. So I guess this is part of, you know, being in the North Country. You're at the mercy of the weather. It's rough country, and they don't want to take any risks.
I give up.
Yeah?
I was gonna stay, but I was saying, what am I gonna do in the movie? It's raining like crazy. crazy there now.
Is it?
It's gonna be boring.
He lives in Inuvik, so he's heading back up there. He gave up on trying to get through. So they're just doing circles out there. They must be testing the wind. I'm not sure what they're doing, but well, that's not looking promising. They just spun around a few times out there and then had some difficulty making it back to the landing spot. They put down the gate and they've just put a barricade across, so I don't know. Unless the wind dies down, we're not going anywhere anytime soon. All right, it is now 12:30. We're still sitting here waiting for the ferry. It hasn't moved since it made those maneuvers, but from our vantage point here, it looks like there's fewer whitecaps on the river. There's still some, and there's a bit of activity going on there. There used to be a big machine parked on the road, and they've moved that, and somebody in a white truck went down there and they opened the gate that was across. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that we can cross the river soon.
Yeah. So cool.
Yeah, we are moving.
Never felt so good.
Yeah, no, I've never wanted to cross the river so bad. Wow, it is windy down here. It's still windy as can be. It's going to be probably a rough ride.
Way rougher than I thought. It's not a nice feeling. Now I see why they had us wait. That's crazy. So they're just gonna drift in.
Yeah. Feels like they turned the engines off and letting the waves push us in. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you bet.
Good job. All right, we made it. We are on dry land. That was a wild ride. They did a good job though. We're at the Peel River ferry crossing and there's no wind and it looks like it's fully operational, so that's good. So this ferry is a cable ferry. Very interesting. There's a cable run from shore to shore and it just pulls itself along the cable. Thank you. You're traveling with a dog that likes to run like Lando, and you obviously can't have him run on the Dempster. There are these little communication towers along the way, and some of them have really nice long driveways up there, so that's a perfect spot to let your dog out and get some exercise.
It's lunchtime.
Lunchtime, just doing a quick MRE. Pre-made. We've been eating a few of these, not this brand necessarily. We've picked out several different brands just to make sure we didn't get one that's super salty or anything. And they've all been decent, but what we want to do, our long-term plans, is to buy our own freeze dryer. And what I've been reading up on those is you can make your favorite meal, like make a beautiful curry meal, make it double what you're going to eat, and then take the second half, freeze dry. It takes 24 hours, I think, and pack it in a Mylar bag. And so going forward on the Epic Family Road Trip, at some point we're going to have our own freeze-dried foods that we take on trips. traversed the Northwest Territories and we're crossed into Yukon now again, heading south. The colors are spectacular, as you can see, because of the rain, and I think it's darkened the rock, which was kind of gray before. It's now almost black, and so the yellows and reds just pop. What a beautiful, beautiful place. And we're just constantly going, wow, when we look out, because it's so expansive and huge and wild. Just an amazing place. It's 3 degrees. We're pretty high in the mountains here. We're in the clouds a little bit, but it looks like we're coming down. So the other thing that impresses you so much on the Dempster is the change in landscape and geography and flora and fauna. So we came out this morning from the low tundra. We're now in the mountains and we're still above the tree line. So we'll be getting into the forests later, probably tomorrow. We just passed a Jeep with a flat tire and then a Lincoln SUV with a flat tire. It's crazy. The people with the Jeep said it's their 3rd flat tire on this trip. The last repair job they had done by a shop up in Nuvik, and they, you know how there's a special key? We gave them ours to see if it would fit because it was a Wrangler, but our wheels are much bigger than theirs. So it didn't. We couldn't help them because they think the shop that did the repair accidentally kept their key for their tires, so they can't. They're stranded and they're in the middle of nowhere. So we wrote down their milepost, our kilometers. They're kilometer 436. So when we get to Eagle Plains, we're just gonna let somebody know where they are and to go back and help them out. Slow down a bit, air down your tires. Only attempt this road with high quality tires. If you buy cheap tires, you're not going to make it. On the way in, I don't know, we counted at least 5, 6 vehicles pulled over trying to change tires. So keep that in mind if you do the Dempster. Bridge, the blocked bridge. I was expecting much bigger lineups. All right, so the adventure continues. We've been here for at least 2 hours. There's vehicles that have been sitting there for 4 hours or more. As people come in from the north, they're asking questions on the way down, and we're getting all kinds of different stories and rumors of what's gonna happen. But the latest one says someone's supposed to come around 7 o'clock. It's now 5:50, almost 6 o'clock, and that's what we're kind of holding on to. Everybody's excited because a white truck came down, but they stopped on the other side of the bridge, so not sure what that means.
Essentially, at this point, as it sits right now, the bridge is technically closed. Now, what we have been doing today is under very strict travel conditions, I guess I'm going to call them. We have been letting light traffic through that have been stuck on either side of the bridge. Yeah, as I don't know the damages on the other side, but the bridge is badly damaged. It needs to be traveled carefully and cautiously. Around 7:30, I'm planning to, and I know it's a little while out, but I'm planning on coming back with more people, and we're going to do another. You will not be here overnight. Last night we did have people tenting in the back of the Manitoulin truck.
Wow.
That's not a bad idea, actually. Now that I'm looking at it.
Wow. So that was an adventure.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna let us go through now, but we got to sit for about, what is it, 3.5 hours or so?
Yeah. Maybe
Talking
4.
to so many wonderful people. Like, they feel like family now.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
So many good laughs and just sharing stories of travel, and just, it actually turned out really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple from Germany behind us. Hey guys, if you find our YouTube channel, it was nice meeting you. And then the folks we were just talking to, we just had to run because it looked like they moved the barricade, and we do not want to miss, the opportunity to cross. But It's funny with these things, you know, they're not pleasant sometimes, but they can turn out to be a great, especially when you make it. We were hearing rumors, people were coming in from the north, and everybody had their own version of the story, but someone was saying it could be, sometimes up here it could be weeks. So this is just a big relief for everyone. Now the problem is we were going to stop in Eagle Plains, but of course no traffic's coming north, so the place is packed, so we're going to go beyond that. And then they said the gas station, the one gas station within hundreds of miles, shuts down normally at 7, so they were going to try and convince them to stay open longer, because a lot of these folks are on they were just coming in on fumes to get gas in Eagle Plains. We have a full auxiliary tank, so we'd be fine. The adventure continues, and one by one we're going carefully across the damaged bridge.
Super thankful.
Come on, Bridge, you can do it. We're not that heavy.
I'm flying to dent that piece.
Thanks a lot, appreciate it.
No worries.
Have a good one.
Yep.
Woohoo! We're back on the road.
Let's make sure our friends from Germany get across with their RV. They were the biggest vehicle in the group, and they were so relieved when he said, yeah, I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, because it's a Class C.
If there's a Class A, they wouldn't let them across, so thankfully there were none in the lineup.
Awesome.
They're coming. Yep, they're good. Yeah, they're probably whooping it up in there. They wanted to get across so bad.
That's awesome.
Well, we're carrying on.
The journey continues.
Let's see what's next.
That's unbelievable.
So these are all folks that were stuck up in Eagle Plains.
Soft spot.
Whoa. So that was a big crowd of people that were all bunched up in Eagle Plains. That probably, increased the population of Eagle Plains by 100. It's a small town. It's a village of, I don't know, probably 20 people. There's only 2 buildings there, a gas station and a little hotel. But it looks like everybody's being led across the bridge, so I'm happy for them. They can get on their journey and we can get on ours.
Well, when we first got here, there was nobody here.
Yeah.
Well, let's just ask and see, yeah?
Yeah, I guess. Man, oh man, all the trucks are backed up.
It looks pretty full, but...
Alright, we decided to stay here. After all, they had a room, a pet-friendly room, one left, so that way we can get a hot shower and hit the road first thing in the morning, all fueled up and good to go. We just had a great sleep here at Eagle Plains Hotel, which is just across that bridge we were crossing last night. At that point we were kind of tired and weary, and we had the option to go further and find a camp spot, but a hot shower sounded really good, and a hot meal. They have a nice restaurant here, so if you're ever up this way, make a point of stopping in. It's a fuel stop as well, so clean rooms, good food, and we're all rejuvenated and ready to get back on the Dempster Highway heading south.
I don't know if that's working.
Section of the Dempster, if it gets rainy or if it rains, it gets really muddy, which you can see now. But he was saying if the sun comes out, it actually dries pretty quick, so the sun just popped out, so maybe it'll improve as we go. Good morning. We had a great sleep right beside the Blackstone River, and we are back on the road this morning bright and early, heading south on the Dempster. It's showing -4 right now, probably even colder last night, but we were warm and toasty in our Jeep camper with the heater. That thing is keeping us super warm. It's just a luxury for us. We're used to being in a rooftop tent, so you really have to bundle up, but having a heater that kicks in whenever the temperature gets to whatever you set it, it's almost like being in a house. It's a luxury we're not used to, and it is a really nice one. That thing will burn at full burn for 30 hours straight on 1 gallon of gas, so we don't even come close to that. And the beauty is it's tied into our auxiliary fuel tank, so we don't have to worry about carrying extra diesel or propane or anything. You just turn it on and it starts to heat up. So that has been a game changer for us. A nice little feature to have, something to consider if you're building a rig. So we're heading south. We're currently in Tombstone Territorial Park. We are going to stop and do a hike on this crisp, cold morning, and then carry on south.
Beautiful hike, beautiful day. I love all the cranberries.
Hey, we're at the Tombstone Interpretive Center, which is in the park here, and we came here on the way up the Dempster, and they gave us a loaner of a book that has some information about, you know, every 10 or 20 kilometers along the way there'll be something of interest, and it'll give you the information. And then on the way out they just ask that you drop the book back off. So Carol's gone up to put it in the drop box, and then we're going to carry on. But yeah, I'd highly recommend getting that. It gives you some really neat history as you go.
We did it.
We made it. We did the whole Dempster. Thankfully we had no tire issues. We saw so many people with tire issues. We didn't want to say anything about it until we made it all the way, but these X3 grabbers from General Tire are really high quality, did a great job. We're going to air them up now and decide whether we go to Dawson or to Whitehorse. On the sign there it says that the Dempster is completely closed both ways up at Eagle Bridge. So we got in at the right time, and we're thankful that we got out as well. And they were letting people north. Most of them were going to spend the winter in Inuvik, but there were some travelers going north, and they warned them that you may not get out. So I feel for those folks, if they're not doing any exits whatsoever, they would have to leave their vehicle in Inuvik and fly home. So anyway, it worked out well the way it did for us, and we made it. Do you want the honor of checking off the Dempster?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's hard to do.
Yeah.
It's caked on there. Hello. Done. Accomplished.
And Caribou said,
I don't know if I can do this. Is so thick. 3.
I've been happy for you.
I was
I knew how
dreaming of
much
it.
you wanted to do that.
Love you.
Love you.
And in the meantime, we'll see you down the
road.
road.